Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Islamic Calling podcast. So we're back with brother MENJ and another live show that I wanted to do with him because his history with Rob Christian. Brother, what can you tell me about Rob Christian? I mean, how did you come into contact with him?
It's a very long story. First of all, assalamualaikum everyone. As brother Islamic calling has said, I have a long history of him. It's not that long. It's just that he's an annoying little pest and a bastard. Pardon my French. Okay, pardon my French. But anyway, the story. I'll make the story very short. Basically, what happened was 2 years ago, I was arrested by the Malaysian police for a crime that they allegedly um, accused me of, but in the end, I was never charged with it, and in fact, I was released. Okay, but unfortunately, the Malaysian police, okay, they are known to be corrupt. Okay, they are known to. When I say corrupt, I don't mean corrupt in the sense of receiving money only. I mean corruption as in they want to basically to pander to their bosses, so they need to meet a certain quota to achieve this in order to rise up the ranks, etc. So I suspect that this team led by D11. D11 is the name of the team, right? So basically, D11 is the unit in Bukit Aman. Bukit Aman is the police HQ in Kuala Lumpur, KL. So this D11 team is involved in investigation of child pornography, sex crimes, women crimes, etc. For some reason, this police bitch who was leading the team, pardon my French again, she thought that somehow because they knew that I was a YouTuber. They probably thought that this is a quick way. She probably thought that it is a quick way for her to achieve the ranks, going up the ranks. So she went to my house with her team of 5 people and arrested me. Okay, when I was just coming back from office and I just had taken my bath, so I totally did not know what was going on until much later.
By the way,
Okay, all
by
this
the
that I'm telling you now,
by the way, like
yeah,
so, basically,
yeah.
it
So
was like a false allegation, right?
yeah, because in the end I was never charged. It never went to court, and the case was just dropped, just like that. Okay, so unfortunately, as I said, this police unit wanted to take the opportunity over this, so they recorded the whole incident. Okay, and they uploaded it on their channel. Okay, the RMP TV. Okay, so when this was released by RMP TV, it was in Bahasa Malaysia, Malay. It was in Malay. Okay, my mother tongue. But unfortunately, because well, not so unfortunate. I because I do apologetics not just in English but also in the Malay language, and therefore I do make enemies out of Christians in Malaysia, and not just Malaysia
Ah,
but Indonesia as well. Okay, so Rob Christian, at the time I did not know who he was. Okay, so apparently Rob Christian had some Indonesian fans. Okay, and
ah,
his Indonesian fans saw that video from RMP TV, the Malaysian police channel, and they translated the content of that video into English, and they sent it to Rob Christian. So of course Rob Christian, seeing that he didn't know the full story at the time, so of course he wanted to take advantage of the situation and he jumped on it. Okay, so that was what happened, and he made several streams about it. Okay, and the funny thing is that in the end I had the last laugh because he took my material and he used it as part of his live stream, and I did a copyright strike on him. So at least two of his videos got copyright strike by me. So now he has two strikes, two copyright strikes, courtesy of me, the Muslim apologist. So yeah,
ah.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it's typical. I mean, like every time, because if you like watch his channel, all he does is like whine about Muslim apologists, and like this is
exactly.
so bizarre because like if you look at
Yeah, you see
how
the
Christian,
thing is because
yeah,
that you see the thing is he did not do his research. He did not wait for the facts to be known, because when the video first came out, I myself do not know the details of the case, whether the case will go to court or whether it will be dropped, etc. But this guy assumed that just because I was arrested by the police, it means that I'm guilty. He doesn't seem to know that the justice system doesn't work that way. First of all, you get arrested for a crime, and then it goes through an IO or investigation officer. After it goes through an investigation officer, the investigation officer will submit his papers to the AG, to the Attorney General's office, the lawyers at the government, represented by the government, to determine whether this case has merit in order to, to be taken to court. If the AG's office is satisfied that the case has merit, only then will it will go to court, and then only then will the case, basically will be trial and so on. And if it goes to court, then yes, I may or may not have been guilty of this crime. Okay, then I will have to fight the case at the court. But the thing is, I was not even charged. It did not even go to the courts. You see, it just
You
went to
know what
the
I think.
IO.
You know what I think. I think some of like your Christian enemies might have reported you. I mean, it's very much possible.
It's
I
definitely
mean,
possible. Yeah, I mean, I don't
yeah,
know, but these Christians, they have
yeah,
evil in their hearts, because their religion
yeah.
teaches them to worship
Hmm.
a half naked man swinging from the cross. Yeah, a
Bro,
cursed
you gotta
half
watch
naked
with the
man.
language.
Yeah,
You're gonna demonetize
yes.
my video.
Sorry. Okay, yeah. Pardon my French again, but basically, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, basically, these Christians, they need to re-examine their faith, because in their own
Yeah.
religion, okay,
Hmm.
Jesus taught them to love their enemies, but they have
Hmm.
not shown any love at all. You see, you can see from the
Yeah.
antics of Rob Christian, Shams Shamoon, all of them. Okay, even David
Hmm.
Wood. Okay, have they ever shown love to their enemies?
Uh,
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we should like get on with it. Let's. So basically, the video that we I wanted to react to. So basically, there's this brother who kept telling me about Rob Christian to make a video on Rob Christian, and I've been meaning to make a video on him because I've seen him around. I mean, I know that he's like a student of like Christian Prince. I know that Christian Prince. So I figured that what, let's take a look at this. And so he recently made a video where he made the claim that
Mm,
apparently Al Samad, in Islam we believe that Kulu Allahu Ahad Allahu Samad, right? So he says
yeah.
that Assam al Samad means that a pagan idol, right? So let's take a look and see what he see what he says, and
That
then
is really
inshallah
silly.
we'll make a response. Yeah.
Yeah, this
Okay,
subhanallah, these people are
screen.
really bankrupt of ideas.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so here we go. Can you see it?
Yep, you can see it.
Okay, okay. All right. Bismillah.
Yesterday, on June 7th, 2022, on the channel of Brother Avery from God Logic Apologetics, I had a live discussion with
By the way, this channel, by the way, this is actually these are the same people I think that went and attacked Sheikh Uthman, I
Yeah, it's
think,
the
right?
same people. It's the same group of
Yeah, yeah,
people
yeah,
who have a booth, who has a booth next to Sheikh
yeah,
Uman's
yeah, yeah,
booth
yeah.
at the Balboa Park. So they have this huge banner. Who is Muhammad? Muhammad was a false prophet. Blah blah blah. Everything is there.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
they,
So
they
they
they just
by
go there just
yeah,
to piss off. Yeah, just to try to to antagonize the Muslims there. I mean, but it
yeah,
doesn't seem to be
yeah,
working. See? Yeah.
yeah. So they basically harassed like Sheikh Uthman and like his team and like a lot of Muslims over there. So and they started a channel, and so basically he like went there.
a Muslim who challenged me to provide proof for a claim I made. Now, here is what was said during that discussion.
You
Should we
made a
show
claim
them in the
saying it
pin?
refers to the rock, the idol of Arabia. Show me the proof. This
Okay.
verse it refers to the
Do
rock.
you accept Ibn Kathir, or are you going to call him
So
a liar?
so Ibn Kathir says when it says Samad, it refers to the rock, the idol of Arabia.
Yes.
By the way, he's already starting with like a fallacy. So
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
the way this works, just because like even Kathir said something doesn't necessarily mean that he's right. Okay, so basically, sometimes even scholars have opinions that are not necessarily accepted, right? Because there are many opinions of scholars that unless it
Yeah.
confirms with the majority
Exactly.
of scholars, are usually rejected. I mean, in many cases. I'm not saying this is the
You
case
see, these
here, but
Christians,
yeah.
these Christians, they don't understand the concept of tafsir, because you see, need to
Hmm.
explain this a bit. So first of all, we have the Quran. The Quran is the authority that we all believe in, is from God. We believe that it is the word of God, right? And
Hmm.
then
Hmm.
we have the hadiths. The hadiths are the reports and actions of basically reports of the actions and the activities of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi
Hmm.
Wasallam and his companions,
Hmm.
right? And
Hmm.
then we have
Hmm.
tafsir. Tafsir is basically interpretation of the Quranic verses
Hmm.
based on what the scholar or the tafsir author knows, about the
Yeah.
hadiths and
Yeah,
history.
not
So
necessarily. Like
yeah.
for example, if you read like Tabari, so basically there are a few ways to interpret the Quran, right? Like for example, you
Yeah,
can interpret
exactly.
it based on other verses, or you can interpret it based on companions of the Prophet. So for example,
Exactly.
even
Exactly.
Imam Tabari
Yeah, so
quotes a
yeah.
lot of
Yeah, I
hadith.
was I
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I was just going to explain that. So basically, tafsir is a mixture of
yeah.
history and also of the hadith. So some hadiths may be true, some hadiths may be not so strong, some hadiths may be even
Hmm.
false. So sometimes
Hmm.
tafsir authors they are not hadith experts. You have to keep in mind that some of them are not even hadith experts, but they rely on this story.
It's
Sometimes there are stories which it's a mixture, and
yeah,
actually say this at the
it's not
beginning of
that
their
they're
tafsir.
not experts. I think that's
Yeah.
kind of mischaracterizing it. It's not that they're not expert, but they're basically collecting all the information they can.
Yes,
So
exactly. Yeah,
for
that's
example,
what
Imam
that's what I
Tabari,
mean.
he basically says
I
that,
mean,
yeah,
yeah. What I mean
yeah,
was they are not people who will check through the isnad and
yeah, yeah,
making sure
yeah,
everything is all right. They'll just collect the stories
yeah,
and they will just
yeah.
display it because that's
Mm,
basically the point of a tafsir, a commentary. It's just a
mm.
commentary. It's not something you should take as basically as gospel truth. Okay,
Fiqh ruling,
so
basically.
yes, exactly. So
Yeah,
just to
basically,
it's
tafsir
just
is
to
not fiqh.
enhance the
Yeah,
knowledge. Yeah, tafsir is
yeah,
just a commentary. It's just an opinion. So that is
yeah.
why, as you said, just because Ibn Kathir wrote something, it doesn't necessarily mean that
Hmm.
it's true. You see, but
Yeah,
this Rob Christian thinks
especially,
that everything
yeah,
that is written by by the tafsir is true.
yeah,
See,
yeah.
this
Like
problem.
for example, if
Yeah,
if he gives like a fiqh opinion, then that's a different matter. But usually, when it comes to tafsir, they don't. These are not fiqh, right? These are not book of fiqh. Like for
exactly,
example, if you want an
exactly,
opinion regarding Islam, you have to go to book of fiqh. That's where the rulings
exactly,
are, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
See, he doesn't understand the
So
difference between commentary and fiqh. That's the thing. He doesn't
yeah,
understand. He's
yeah,
confusing the both. You see.
yeah, exactly.
You're a liar. And second
What
of
if
all,
I
why
can
you showing
show
me
it?
one
Are you
opinion?
going? If I can show it, will you leave Islam? Pinky promise, and it's recorded.
Why I
I
leave
want.
Islam?
If you claim to be a man, if I can show it to you, will you leave Islam?
Why I leave Islam with one opinion? No.
Yeah, exactly. Like I mean,
He's an
and
idiot
that's
because
the
he thinks that just because Ibn Kathir says something that we don't agree is we have to leave Islam because of that. My God, Rob Christian, you are an idiot, dude. You are really an idiot. I hope he's watching this because I'm just going to
yeah,
tell him you are an idiot. Because whatever Ibn Kathir says doesn't mean that it's true, or doesn't mean that it's false, or doesn't mean that
yeah.
it's not true or false. You see, I mean it's
But yeah,
basically it's something you have to read and you have to study. That's the point of
yeah.
tafsir. Okay.
Yeah, so basically, if
Yeah.
you want to understand a verse of the Quran, so he basically makes a lot of points that are contextualize the verses, right? So in order to
Yeah,
understand the
exactly.
verses, these are very helpful. However, that
Yep.
doesn't mean these are fiqh ruling. That's completely
Exactly.
different.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
basically, by the way, what he said here is complete lie. Even Kathir never said this. Okay, he never said that it means some rock. Okay, because I want to emphasize on this because we're gonna get back to this.
I'm not
Uh,
surprised. I'm not surprised that that is not
yeah.
true.
Pinky promise, and it's recorded.
Why I
I
leave
want.
Islam to the rock?
Okay, because
Or
I wanna get this right. So basically, he says that samad means some kind of rock.
This
okay,
first refers to the rock.
do you accept Ibn Kathir, or are you going
Go back.
Made. Now, here is what was said during that discussion.
You
should we
made a
show
claim
them in
saying
the
it
link?
refers to the rock, the idol of Arabia. Show me the proof. This
Okay,
first it
do
refers
you
to the
Okay,
rock.
so he says that it's an idol at the time of the Prophet, idol of an Arabia. That's what he said.
Yes,
do you accept
exactly.
Ibn Kathir, or are you going to call him a liar?
So Ibn Kathir says when it says Samad, it refers to the rock, the idol of Arabia.
Yes.
Idol of Arabia. So let's. By the way, you provided a book for me, right? That has all
Yes,
the names of the idols at the.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Can you
Basically, I
give
provide to
some
you the book
information?
called
Yeah.
yes, the book is called Kitab the Book of Idols. Is a translation from Kitab Al Asnam. Okay, it's written by
Yeah.
Hisham ibn Al Kalbi. So Hisham ibn Al Kalbi is a historian who recorded the names of all the idols worshipped by the Quraysh during the time of
Okay.
Jahiliyyah. So
Okay.
I've shared with you the link. So maybe you can share it
Yeah.
with the
Okay. So
audience.
let's take a look at that book and see if there's an idol that's called Samad, right? Let's take a look at this. Let me share screen, Chrome tab. Okay. Okay. Can you see it?
Yep, it's loading at my end. Okay, now I can see it.
Okay. Now let's check and see if there's any word, any idol named Samad. So, as you can see, I actually hold on. Can you see it? I basically pressed Control F and typed the name Samad, and nothing is popping up. So there's no idol
Maybe you
named
can
Samad.
maybe brother, maybe you can
Yeah.
scroll down to the index of the page where it lists the name of all the idols. Then everyone can see. Yep.
Okay.
There you
Yeah.
are. Yeah. Further
Yeah. Okay.
downwards.
So let's take a look at this. And Safa Allah Sad. No, there's no Samad here. There's no
Nope, no
Samad here. So
sama at
he's
all.
lying.
No sama at all.
Yeah. Yeah. He's lying.
It's so easy to
He's
refute the
lying.
lies of the Christians, you know. It's
Yeah.
so easy to
Yeah.
refute them.
Yeah. So yeah, he's lying. But let's continue because he lied about Ibn Kathir too, and inshallah we'll expose him on this. Let's
Okay.
continue, inshallah.
You're a liar. And second
What
of
if
all,
I
why
can
you
show
showing me
it?
one
Are you
opinion?
going? If I can show it, will you leave Islam? Pinky promise, and it's recorded.
Why
I
leave
want,
Islam?
if you claim to be a man, if I can show it to you, will you leave Islam?
Why leave Islam with one opinion now?
So what's the point if I show?
Yeah, so he says something completely valid. He's not gonna, that doesn't make any sense. Like if someone gives an opinion, you have to check whether that opinion is correct or not, right? And
Exactly.
so it doesn't make sense to like leave Islam simply based on like one opinion. He has to check first if that's the correct opinion or not.
Exactly. And let's also not forget that Ibn Kathir is not
Yeah,
the
yeah.
only tafsir author. You see, so there's so many
Yeah.
tafsir authors. You see, there's tafsir
Hmm.
the Jalalain. There's the two Jalalain. There's Qurtubi. There's
Yeah.
Zamakhshari. There's so many.
Yeah.
Why these Christians always rely on Ibn Kathir? I always wonder why.
I mean, Ibn Kathir is very good tafsir, to be honest, and it's one of the best. But there
Yeah,
are
one
other
of the best. One of the best. you
commentaries
see,
out
one
there. For
of
example,
the
Imam
best.
Qurtubi's tafsir is very good.
Yes, yes.
Imam Tabari is like
Al-Qutubi,
excellent.
even people, even
Yeah.
the Muslims, we also use Zamashari, even though we know that Zamashari is a Mutazili in Akidah. Even so, we still use Zamashari because Zamashari has very deep knowledge of the Arabic. So these Christians, they're so bankrupt of ideas. They only rely on Ibn Kathir because the only reason why they rely on Ibn Kathir is because Ibn Kathir is the most well translated tafsir in English. That's the only reason. See, that's the only reason. They cannot rely on Kuturbi, on Zamashari, on there's this tafsir called Tafsir As-Sa'di. I haven't checked it out yet, but I heard it's
Yeah,
good.
Tafsir Sa'di, yeah.
And then there's so many tafsir. Why can't you use others as well to collaborate? You
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
if Ibn Kathir really says that Allah's name is Samad, I mean sorry, that
He
idol's
didn't.
name is
He
called
didn't.
Samad.
He never said
No,
that. I'm gonna show it to you.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just assuming if he does,
Yeah.
and then if this is collaborated by other tafsir authors, wouldn't that make your argument stronger, right? You see, so why do
Yeah.
you rely only on one person to confirm your point? See, if
Yeah.
10 people are saying the same thing, that will make your point stronger. But these Christians, they don't have any access to the other tafsir. They only have they only have access to Ibn Kathir. So they say, "Oh, Ibn Kathir say this, you must believe this." And this is a fallacy, right? Yeah, and I believe you're going to show that Ibn Kathir never said this, so this is even worse for
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. So
in
let's
Islam,
continue.
even if we can show them the evidence from their most authentic books. Now, any Muslim who claims to have a healthy set of brains, he or she has to leave Islam if we can show him or her that the Samad of Arabia before Islam was nothing but
By
a
the way, did you notice he changed his argument? Did you notice this? Before he said at the time of the Prophet, right? Now he's saying before Arabia.
Okay, yeah. I think he's changing his argument silently, thinking that no one will notice it.
Yeah.
You see.
So yeah. By the way, this is a fallacy. It's known as moving the goalpost fallacy. I don't know if I have the animation here. So basically, the fallacy is that when your argument is refuted, you immediately change the argument, right? So
Yeah.
that you can never be refuted, right? This is a very
Moving the
deceptive kind
goalpost.
of, deceptive kind of
Yeah,
tactic.
this is,
Now
and it's
let's
also, yeah,
yeah
this is very common from the
let,
Christians. Very, very common.
yeah. Now I want to show you exactly what Ibn Kathir said regarding this verse. So let's take a look at his tafsir regarding Surah Ikhlas, where the word word samad is used and how he interpreted that word. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Let me share the screen. Brother Danny Susan says, Salam alaikum, wa alaikum salam, bro. Share
Waalaikum
the
salam
screen.
warahmatullah.
Okay. Can you see it? Can you see it?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay. Okay, so let's scroll down. I actually have the quotation here. Hold on, where is it? Okay, so let's read from here, right? Imam Muhammad recorded from Ubay bin Ka'b that the idolaters said to the Prophet, "O Muhammad, tell us the lineage of your Lord." So Allah revealed, "In the name of Allah, the beneficent and merciful." Similar was recorded by At-Tirmidhi and Ibn Jarir, and they added in their narration, and that he said, which means the Prophet ﷺ is saying this, As-Samad is one who does not give birth, nor was he born, because there is nothing that is born except that it will die, and there is nothing that dies except that it leaves behind inheritance. And indeed, Allah does not die, and he does not leave behind inheritance, which means it's referring to eternal, right? So this word means eternal,
Yeah,
everlasting,
yes,
right?
yes,
So
yes.
this is
Eternal and
how he,
everlasting.
yeah,
Mm.
this is how he interpreted this verse. Does it look like he's saying it means rock or an idol? No. So, and there's more. Uh, for example, yeah, yeah, there's yeah, there are different reports regarding this, different hadiths. For example, Ibn Abbas also like kind of said similar things. For example, Ibn Abbas actually explains that it has many, it can have different meanings. It can mean a sovereign, or someone perfect, and that kind of thing. But overall, no mufassir, as far as I know, has ever interpreted this verse to mean, or this word to mean, some kind of an idol. Okay, so if this is the case, that this was some kind of an idol pre-Islamic period, then don't you think that that would reflect at the Arab society at that time, or they would know about it? Of course they would. I mean, like there would be some kind of like acknowledgement that, hey, wait a minute, this was like this idol of these people, because to understand, Arabs at the time memorized everything. Like they had like a very strong oral tradition, and basically they had a lot of like different idols, so they would have that idol, or they would know about it. So this has nothing to do with, like, this is a complete lie that Ibn Kathir apparently said this. No
No, it's
scholar,
nothing
as
to
far as I know.
nothing whatsoever to do with any names of any idol. It's just,
Yeah,
basically the Quran was just asking what is the attribute of your God Muhammad. So
yeah,
then the
yeah,
Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said he's the As-Samad. That's it.
yeah,
I mean, it's the
yeah. He's
attribute.
eternal.
It's not the name.
Yeah,
It's not the name of an idol or name of a being. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, let's continue.
rock, a stone, an idol that the Arabs used to worship before Islam. Yet the fraud, the fake Prophet Muhammad, stole even that name of the idol and gave Allah that same name in chapter 112, ayah 2, when he said, Allahu Samad. Muslim
Wow, this
scholars
guy is a
until this
bald-faced
day
liar,
are
man.
struggling to tell
Bald-faced
us what
liar.
Samad means. Why? Because it's
I
not
just showed what Muslim scholars said. I just showed what Ibn Kathir said.
Yeah, my
an Arabic
God,
word,
this guy is a
but
true liar,
actually an
man.
Aramaic word. But what else is new? There are
Wait, so he says that this is an Aramaic word?
tons and tons of scholarly opinions for the meaning of Samad.
What scholarly opinions? What are you talking about? Where? So basically, this is Muslim scholars do not agree. Yes, they do.
Yeah,
No
who are
one
those
says
Muslim
that
scholars?
Samad.
You just cited.
Yeah,
You see, the thing is, he said Muslim scholars plural, but the
yeah,
only
yeah,
opinion that he gave was allegedly for Ibn
uh,
Kathir, and even Ibn Kathir
yeah.
never said this,
Even
right?
he didn't say this. Yeah,
Yes. He says that, wait, there's another part here. He says this idol is found in Tafsir Ibn Kathir chapter
yeah, yeah.
7 verse
That's also a
70.
lie,
Maybe
by
you
the
can
way.
check that. Maybe
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can show
That's
that
also
to
a
the
lie.
audience later. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
We will. Let's finish the video because it's a short video. It's kind of stupid, and I wanted to share this because this guy's so stupid that they think that they can just quote this and Muslims won't check it. Like, how dumb do you have to be? Like, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just finish.
What is the meaning of Samad? Allahu A'lam. Allah knows best, because they have no answer. Now, people who know me or have
He
watched
just
my
said that he,
for a long
he
time,
just said that Muslims have no answer to what somat means, but Ibn Kathir already gave the definition of somat. He keep quoting. You see the funny thing that he said. He contradicted himself. First of all, he says that Ibn Kathir says that somat is an idol, and then when we check the tafsir, Ibn Kathir says that somat means everlasting, eternal, and then now he says that Ibn Kathir doesn't know the meaning of as-somat. Did this guy even check? Did this guy even read Ibn Kathir, the tafsir on this? you see, you can listen to him to what he says. I mean, this guy, he's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he's basically contradicting himself. But regardless, let's continue.
we always provide proof from the Islamic sources to back it up.
By the way, it's not Islamic sources, the Islamic sources. He can't speak English, bro. I mean, at one point, I think one Muslim YouTuber actually showed that he can speak Arabic either. Like, he was constantly making mistakes when he was trying to like read the Quran. And I think one YouTuber, I can't remember. I think
Yes, I
Muslim
think
Warrior, I
recall
think his
watching
name
that
is. Yeah.
before.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
yes, I think so. I
he's
think so.
constantly making
Yes.
mistakes, and he's being called out. So
Yeah,
he can't
yeah.
speak Arabic. He can speak English.
Yes.
So what are you good at?
Yeah.
So here is my proof from Ibn Kathir's tafsir for
here it
chapter
comes.
7, ayah 70.
You're gonna laugh at this. Let's check this out.
To bury him
sure.
and bury his idol worshipping fraud and the wannabe and fake fraud Prophet Muhammad, who kept worshipping the same stone idol of the Arabs all his life. Samad. Now, this is Ibn Kathir for chapter 7, ayah 70. And I will
Chapter
provide
7, ayah 70. Okay.
the links in the description box for you to collect. Here is what the Arabic says. The Arabic tafsir of Ibn Kathir for chapter 7,
Okay.
ayah 70
wait.
says, وقد ذكر محمد بن إسحاق وغيره إنهم كانوا يعبدون أصناما فصنم يقال له الصمد وآخر يقال له الصمود وآخر يقال له الهباء. And here's another website that I'll provide in the description box that says the same. There are 3 idols and he starts with Samad. Do you see it? This is the same Samad, Ya Muslimun.
Okay. So yeah, that's this like stupid video. Now let's check Quran 7:70 and see if he actually says that or not. Okay.
Okay.
So hold on, let me just pull it up. Where is it? Okay, hold on. Let me share the screen. Share screen. 70. Hold on. Let me just. Okay. Okay. So you can see this, right?
Yes. Kalu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's start reading it a few verses earlier to get the context, right? Read full surah. 770. Let's go to 65. 65. Let's go to 65 and start reading.
No, you have to scroll down. It's 49. Yep.
64, 65.
64, 65. Yes.
Yeah.
And to add.
Okay. So hold on.
No, down.
So basically, this is a story, and here it starts. And so basically, I think this story is of Moses, if I'm not mistaken. Noah. So
no,
first
this is the ad. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
The
So
first part was
basically,
Noah. The first
Noah,
part was
and
61
then
is
he
Noah.
starts talking about then he
Ad.
starts talking about Hud or people of Ad,
Yeah,
right? And he says,
the people of Ad,
and to the Ad we sent their brother Hud. He said, "Oh my people, worship Allah. You have no deity other than Him. Then will you not fear Him?" Said the eminent one who disbelieved among his people, "Indeed, we see you in foolishness, and indeed we think you are one of the liars." Hud said, "O my people, there is not foolishness in me, but I am messenger from the Lord of the worlds." Okay, I convey to you message of my Lord, and I am to you a trustworthy advisor. Uh, yeah, then he says, then do you wonder that there has come to you a reminder from your Lord through a man from among you, that he may warn you and remember when he made you successors after the people of Noah and increased you in stature extensively. So remember the favors of Allah and you might succeed. They said, have you come to us that we should worship Allah alone and live with what our fathers have worshipped, that then bring us what you promised us, if you should be truthful. So, and here in the footnotes, and this is 770. So let's look at the go to the ayah and look at the tafsir. Let's look at the tafsir. And okay, so this is where Ibn Kathir says, talks about the so-called idol samad, right? He says, and remember when they said, oh Allah, if this Quran is indeed the truth revealed from you, the rain down stones on us from the sky, or bring us painful torment. Muhammad ibn Ishaq said that the people of Hud used to worship several idols, such as Suda, Samud, and Al-Haba. So this is where he gets the name.
Wrong.
Samud.
It's not Samad, it's Samud.
Yeah, Samud. So this is where he
It's
gets the name
Samud.
Samud. And the report is from Ibn Ishaq, Muhammad ibn Ishaq. And what
Yeah,
we know about Ibn
so
Ishaq,
it's not basically Ibn Kathir is just quoting from Ibn Ishaq. It's not the
yeah,
opinion of Ibn Kathir. Yeah.
yeah. So basically, this
Mm.
is a weak hadith because Ibn Ishaq's, hadith are usually not,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to
Yeah.
Aqidah, is
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
usually
Because
accepted.
he's
Yeah,
not a tafsir author. He's just a historian.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah.
yeah. So basically, and on top of it, this is talking about the story of Hud. What does that has to do with anything? I mean, the verse is
Nothing
talking
to do with
about
the Quraysh.
idol at the time of Hud.
Mm.
This is
Yeah.
nothing to do with the
Yeah.
Quraysh.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
he's saying that this is the same idol, or at least that's what he's implying it in the beginning. Then he later changed the story.
Yeah.
And so this guy is such an idiot that he doesn't realize that and he's quite deceptive as well, because he never mentioned that this is a hadith from Ibn Ishaq, because he
Yes.
knows Ibn Ishaq
Exactly.
is weak. And not
Yes.
only does he
Yes.
not
Yes.
mention that, he also doesn't mention that this is talking about people of Hud. So this has nothing to
Yes.
do with
It's talking
Samad as is described in
exactly.
Surah Al-Ikhlas.
As or
So
some
this here
yes,
he's
yes,
commenting, yeah.
exactly. Mm.
So here he's
Exactly.
commenting the
Yeah.
faulty comparison first. So compare two different things that have nothing
Mm.
to do with each other, and saying that there's a connection somehow.
Yeah.
Even though the
Yeah.
scholars he's quoting him themselves never said that. So this guy's so stupid. Like, did you really think that people wouldn't just look this up? Like, are you this dumb? How
No,
dumb?
you
How
see, the thing
dumb?
is,
Yeah,
you see how this guy is he so dumb that he cannot differentiate between Samad and Samud.
hmm, yeah,
That is also another dumb thing, isn't it? He just changed the
yeah,
vowels so that one
yeah.
instead of saying Samud, he says Samad. You see, he's so
Mhm.
dumb that he cannot differentiate between the two. You
Yeah,
see?
and the biggest thing is that this is clearly talking about something in the past, right? I mean,
Exactly.
and the thing is, it's not a strong hadith. And on top of it, like,
Yeah.
just think about it. Like, why would, like, this story is coming from the later on from a companion,
Yes.
so not even a
Exactly.
companion,
Mm.
from like
Mhm.
a hadith narrator,
Mhm.
and he's saying that somehow this is authoritative. Now,
Yes.
let's say for the
So
sake of argument that,
yes.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Now, what were you saying?
No, I was going to say that you should compare the name Suda and Al Haba with the Kitab Al Asnam, the Book of Idols, and see whether the Quraysh also worship Suda and Al Haba.
Okay, okay, interesting. Yeah, let's check that. So the pull it up.
Because this poor Christian, Rob Christian, doesn't know that we have Kitab Al Asnam. We know what the Quraysh worshipped. We have the name of their idols, so he cannot lie his way through this. He cannot make up names out of thin air and say, "Oh, this is what the Quraysh worship." I was thinking if Abu Jahal and Abu Lahab were alive, and they heard, uh, Rob Christian making lies like this about their idols, he's going
Mhm.
to die at their hands. Abu Lahab and Abu Jahal will probably come at him with a sword, because they are insulting, because he's insulting their gods. You see,
Yeah, yeah,
he's insulting what they believe in.
yeah.
The irony is that. See,
Yeah, there's no Suda here.
nope.
There's no
There's
idol
no
called Suda.
Suda. There's no what's the other name? Haba. Yeah, there's no Haba.
Yeah, Habal.
I'm
There's no
pretty
Habal.
sure of it. Nope, there's none.
Yeah,
Because they don't. Because it's simply
yeah.
because the Quraysh never worship these idols. It's that
Hmm.
simple.
Yeah.
It's different. They
So
worship
he's
different
saying that
idols.
so basically this is where he lied, right? He's saying that this
Yes.
is something that people before Islam in pagan Arabia used to worship.
Yes.
There's no evidence for it.
Yes.
Okay. And if
Nope.
he thinks
None
that this is
whatsoever.
something they did, where's his evidence? So he's quoting
Yep.
another verse which is talking about people of Hud, which has nothing to do with
Yes.
Arabia, and he's saying that this is
Exactly.
talking about Arabia. I mean, how
Yep.
does he
Exactly.
really think his audience is stupid? Like, because he's straight up lying. I mean, they can just look up the verse and read from like a few verses earlier. I can see this.
Exactly.
I mean, if you're gonna lie, at least do a better job. This is
Exactly.
stupid.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, this
I
really
mean,
dumb. I mean.
this is, and this is why, like, I mean, like, this is why, like, he probably learned this from Christian Prince. So basically, Christian Prince, he like makes this type of like tricks all the time. So basically, he like
Yes.
quotes something without showing whether the hadith is hadith grading to
Yeah.
catch the Muslims. Oh, look at this! Even Kathir
Exactly.
said this. But in reality,
Yeah.
they didn't say this.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Exactly.
so dumb. It's so ridiculous. And you know what's worse about it is that if we follow this logic, then Christianity becomes a false religion. Do you know this? Because Yahweh, the word Yahweh comes from a pagan god. I mean, the word
Exactly.
Yahweh comes from a pagan god. Yeah. And let me pull up an
Exactly.
article,
Exactly.
and it's basically an article on archaeology where they found one particular god that they said was called Yahweh. I think it was a god of meteorology or something. But let's take a look
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. 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 Basically, Yahweh and his Ashrah. I have the book here. I mean, it's the couch. Yeah, this one. Yeah. Yeah. This is the book.
Yeah, original Yahism. Yeah, hold on, let
Yahuism.
me share the screen and we'll go through this, inshallah. Okay, here you can see, as you can see the title, Jewish god Yahweh originated in Canaanite Vulcan, says new theory. The cult of Yahweh as god of meteorology originated among semi-nomadic copper smelters between the Bronze and Iron Age, suggests biblical
Yep.
scholar. By the way, this is not even a
Yep.
atheist or something. This is a Bible scholar.
No.
He's saying
Yeah.
this
It's a
is
Bible
come
scholar,
from
archaeological
yeah,
scholar.
this,
Mm.
yeah. He says this comes from a pagan god, right?
Yep.
And he was not
Yep.
worshipped only by the Jews. Okay. Now
Yeah,
we can read
basically,
about
these
this.
books
a bit,
these
yeah.
books basically says the same thing. I mean, you can get this
Yeah,
book
yeah.
as well. This book is much more scholarly, and but this book is quite
Hmm.
expensive. It costs me around 200 USD.
Wow.
No joke. No joke. Yeah,
Yeah.
no joke.
So
Yeah.
let's read this. Around 3,200 years ago, the great empire around the Mediterranean and the Middle East suddenly imploded. The Egyptians retreated from Canaan and copper mines in Timna, in the Negev, sulking back to the banks of Nile, and in the arid west of southern Canaan, a new power arose. The Timna mines were taken over by semi-nomadic tribes, which set up mining operation that dwarfed the previous Egyptian industry. Their new desert kingdom would leave its mark on the main building at Timna, the Egyptian temple of Hathor, a protector of the miners. The new masters smashed the effigy of the Egyptian deity, leaving the fragments to be found by archaeologists more than 3,000 years later, and set up over the ruins of the temple a tent sanctuary, judging by the remains of heavy red and yellow fabric found in the 1970s. There they worshipped a new god, one that had no apparent name or face. That miner's god was none other than the deity known by the four Hebrew letters YHWH, or Yahweh, who would become the god of the Jews and by extension of Christians. And by the way, this is false because there's no Yahweh mentioned in the Quran. He says by extension Christians is Jews, but we don't worship any Yahweh, or at least that's not the name. Claims Nissim Amzlak, a biblical studies researcher at Ben Gurion University. According to Amzlak, long before becoming the deity of Israelites, Yahweh was a god of meteorology, in the ancient Canaanite pantheon, worshipped by smelters and metal workers throughout the Levant. Not just by Hebrews, his theory is not exactly widely accepted, but has recently been gaining traction. So yeah, basically this is like a storm or kind of like a meteorite god, and he actually provides evidence from the Bible that this was the god that they worship, that the Jews worship. Right. For example, if you go down a little bit, I think fire and brimstone. For example, he provides evidence here. Most scholars already believe that the cult of Yahweh first emerged somewhere in the southern Levant, partly based on Egyptian text. From the late second millennium BCE, these documents describe group of Canaanite nomad collectively, known as Shashu, including one tribe named Shashu Yahweh, perhaps the first recorded Yahweh worshipper in history. The Bible itself may contain a memory of this southern origin of Yahweh, as it tells us explicitly that God came from Teman. So basically, he is quoting Bible verses and said that God came from Teman, or that he went out to Seir and marched out of Edom. All Tenem uh, associated with the area ranging from Sinai to Negev to northern Arabia. This is the picture of like the what they found of the pagan god. Now, everybody recognizes the southern origin of Yahweh, but most scholars stop here. As long as this forms the basis of my theory, as well as, but I take a step forward. Reading between the line, the Bible contains clues pointing to an original identity for Yahweh as a meteorological deity. He says, in the Bible, Yahweh's appearance is usually accompanied by volcanic-like phenomena. What he depends on upon Mount Sinai to reveal the Torah to the Jews. The mountain erupts in fire, spewing lava and billows, clouds accompanied by earthquake and thunderstorm. You can read about this in Exodus 19:60 to 90. In antiquity, meteorology deities like Greek Hephaestus or his eponym Roman equivalent Vulcan were associated with volcanic disruption, which closely mirrored the smoke, fire, black slog, molten red metal produced by smelting process. Poetic metaphors through the Bible describe Yahweh as fiery deity, who makes the mountain smoke. You can read about this in Psalms 144:5. So basically, he goes through all these Bible verses and basically proves this point that Yahweh was this deity, was this fire god that was worshipped by, worshipped by these people. So basically, if we follow this logic,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
then we have to admit that he was a pagan god, basically a god of fire and brimstone
Yeah.
that was, worshipped along with
Yeah.
other
I was going
gods.
to show this, brother. I was just going to show
Mhm.
this.
Sure.
Can you see it?
Yahweh and his Ashark, did the
Asherah.
god of Israel have
Asherah.
a consort? Yeah.
Consort. Yes. Okay. So wait, let me
Yeah.
show you again. Okay. So this
Sure.
is allegedly Yahweh. This.
So
Yeah.
there
This
were
is this.
multiple gods there, right? Along with Yahweh.
Yeah. Multiple gods. Namely Yahweh and Asherah.
Mm.
So Asherah is a female goddess who is the wife of
Ah,
Yahweh. So this is
ah,
Asherah.
ah.
This is Asherah.
Interesting.
Okay. So
So he had a
apparently
wife.
Asherah marries Yahweh, and Yahweh has a wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is
You see?
another point they could say, because Mary is also considered like a deity in some sects of Christianity, right? And they
Yes.
consider like the father,
Yeah.
impregnated Mary. So
Sometimes in the metaphor, I mean metaphoric, they say that it's a metaphorical way, but sometimes they say it more
yeah,
explicitly. So it depends on which
yeah,
Christians are you referring to. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so you can clearly see, if you follow this logic, then Christianity becomes a false religion. But here's the thing: we won't, because we understand that this is actually bad logic, because this is actually a fallacy. It's a fallacy known as fallacy of equivocation. Fallacy of equivocation is basically when you use the same word which can have two different meanings in two different contexts, and you act like they mean the same thing. Like, for example, in my language, there's this term called dharma, right? But in the Vedas, that term dharma means Hindu religion, right? But in my language, dharma means any religion, right? It can mean Christianity, it can mean
Mm,
Islam. But based on this, if I say that I follow my dharma, does it mean I'm following Hinduism? No, it means that I'm following
mm,
Islam. So
yes.
basically, it's the same thing. Just because the Jews had this, use this name Yahweh, which is similar to these other pagan gods, doesn't necessarily mean that they're following, worshiping the same God. As long as they
Yes.
affirm
Yes.
tawhid, or oneness of God, then it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's the
But
same
one
God,
one
right?
point I need to one point I need to show
Mhm.
to point out, since we are talking about
Sure.
the name of Yahweh, okay, is that
Sure.
we don't know how Yahweh is pronounced. It's basically Yod,
Mm,
head, Vav, and
mm.
head, right? YHWH. So we don't know how Yahweh is pronounced. Okay, this the name Yahweh that is pronounced now with the vowels A and E. This is a recent innovation by evangelical Christians. So the Jews themselves don't even know how to pronounce Yahweh. Okay, they don't know how to pronounce it.
Interesting.
So
Yeah.
yes, and this god, this false deity that that is called Yahweh, is a distinct entity from Yahweh. Because we don't know what Yahweh means. Okay, so there is a god named Yahweh, but this Yahweh is not Yahweh. YHWH. Okay, and
Interesting.
until today, the
Yeah.
Jews today they don't call upon Yahweh. They use the name Adonai or El Shaddai or some different name. Okay, in Hebrew to refer to God, to the God of Abraham, but not Yahweh. Only Christians use the name Yahweh. You see?
Yeah, and also I don't think Yahweh is mentioned in the Quran in any way.
No,
Anyway, and even
no.
if for the sake of argument it was, it wouldn't matter because you need to understand that in Islam, Allah can be referred to by different names, right? So it's not necessarily
Yes,
because even
exactly.
at the time of the pagans, they actually worshipped Allah, right? Because they worshipped with
Yes.
Him with other idols, other gods, right?
These
That's the problem.
idols,
The
exactly.
shirk element is
You
the
see
problem
that
here.
you see there's
Yeah.
so much misrepresentation about the Quraishi religion. Basically, what
Hmm.
the Quraysh believe is that Allah is the supreme deity,
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
and there is unseen, untouchable, everything. But in
Hmm.
association with that, they worship. They believe that to reach God, to worship the one true God, which is Allah, they need to worship his daughters, okay, which is basically Al Manat, Al Uzza, and Al Lat. Okay, these three, and
Yeah,
these
yeah.
three idols have other idols associated with them as well. So that's why we have Hubal and then Suwa and all the
Yeah,
other
yeah,
idols that you see in Kitab Al Asnam. So basically,
yeah,
basically it's not that the Quraysh deny that God existed. It's just that they
yeah,
associate him with other
yeah, yeah.
idols.
Partners with
You
him.
see?
And that's the
Yes,
problem. And
partners
that's
with
the
him.
same thing that Christians do. And this is
Exactly.
why Allah actually
Exactly.
refutes them in the Quran. Because it's
Exactly.
not that
Exactly.
they call them father or they call them Brahma or whatever, right? The problem here is the shirk
Yes.
element of it. And this is
Exactly.
something
The shirk
Ibn
element.
Taymiyyah
Yes.
actually mentions this in one place in his book. Let me pull up the quote.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
where is it? So there's actually a fatwa from Islam QA. You can check it out, and they provide
Actually,
the
it
references
just
for
came.
this. Yeah,
Actually, it just came to me.
yeah,
If Rob Christian says is true, that always that Samad as Samad is the name of an idol. Okay, and Allah is
yeah,
saying that there's that somehow Samad is also associated with him. Then why
yeah,
didn't the Quraysh use this argument against the Prophet? He say, hey, look, you follow Allah and you also worship as Samad. So why are you
yeah,
fighting against us? Let us come together
yeah.
because we believe the
Exactly.
same idol, Samad.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
why would the Quraysh go to such an extent until they go to
yeah,
war with the Prophet? Okay,
yeah,
because the
yeah,
Prophet was calling them to worship Allah alone, right? And
yeah.
then
Allah alone.
and if the Prophet really is also promoting another idol called Samad, then why would the Quraysh and the Quraysh worship this Samad as well? When why would the Quraysh have a problem with the Prophet? See, so this argument is stupid. You see?
Okay, let me pull up the quote here.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so let me pull up the quote so we can see. So basically, this is a fatwa in Islam QA. They basically go through this point, which is that can Allah, basically, he says that can Allah's name be called in different languages and stuff like that, right? So, like for example, can it be called Khoda and all this other type of stuff? Is it permissible to swear by these names in the languages mentioned? And this is what they said. They quote Ibn Hazm, and he said, there is no valid oath except one that is sworn by Allah. May Allah be glorified and exalted, either by one of His names or by one of the attributes that He has told us, and not referring to anyone other than Him, such as the controller of hearts, inheritor and of the earth and everything on it, one in whose hand is my soul, the Lord of the worlds, and so on. That may be said in all languages. Okay, that may be said in all languages, which means that you can say that in any language, right? Or one may swear by knowledge of Allah, by His power, His might, His majesty, and so on, as mentioned in the text. If a person swears by any of that, he is indeed swore an oath, and if he breaks it, then he must offer expiation. And then another quote here, it says, Ibn al-Hunam al-Hanafi, he said, if he says in Farsi, I swear by God, that is an oath to Allah or oath by Allah, right? So basically what they're saying is that if you make a swear, like I swear by Khuda, or I swear by Allah, or I swear by Brahma, and they're only referring to that supreme being, like one and only, and confirming, like affirming monotheism, then that is, they are making a, they are swearing by Allah, right? It's just they're expressing it in a different language, right? So as long as, and this is what Ibn Taymiyyah said, this is the quote that I wanted to highlight. Yeah, this is what Ibn Taymiyyah said. Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah said, the Lord, may He be glorified, may be referred to in Arabic as Allah, Ar-Rahman, the most gracious, Ar-Rahim, the most merciful, and in Farsi as Khuda, and so on. But He, may He be glorified, is one, and there are many ways to refer to Him. And yeah, that's the point.
Yep.
I mean, like Allah
Yep.
subhanahu wa
That's the
ta'ala
whole
can be
point.
referred to,
Yeah. Yeah.
referred to
Yeah,
different
like for
languages.
example,
So
like
for example,
in my language, okay, in the ancient times, when the language has not been Arabized fully yet, because today we Muslims in Malaysia, we refer to God as Allah in even in the Malay language, but prior to that, okay, um, the earlier texts that we have, when Islam first came to the region, when they translated the oaths in Malay, it became Allah became Sang Dewata Mulia Raya. Okay, so the Muslims in this region, in my country, before the language was Arabized to become, the word, to use the word Allah, we refer to God, to the one true God, as Dewata Mulia Raya. So Dewata Mulia Raya is another name for God, for Allah. And we also, until today, we have words like Tuhan, Tuhan yang Maha Berkuasa, yang Maha Mengetahui. All these words in Malay, in the Malay language, refers to God, to Allah. So we understand this. We know that these differences in languages doesn't change the fact that we worship the one true God. Okay, see. And then
yeah,
in Mandarin, in Mandarin, the Muslims refer to God, to Allah, as Zhengzhu. Okay, it's not Allah, it's Zhengzhu. Of course, in recent times, there has been, some Arabization of the word of God, the name God in Arabic. So there's also Anla, Zhengzhu. There's also Shengti. So all this refers to the one true God. So in Mandarin, in the Chinese language. So that even the Chinese Muslims understand all this refers to the one true God. So it doesn't matter what
yeah.
language you believe in. You say you speak
Yeah, and
in.
that's the point. Like
You yeah.
if for some reason the Jews in the previous before the prophet, refer to
Yes.
Allah as Yahweh, which I don't know, may have some connection with the pagan,
I
as
don't
long
think
as
it's
they're not.
Yahweh.
Yeah,
I personally don't believe that it's
but
Yahweh. It's something else.
yeah,
But
but
it's
even
Yahweh.
if it
Okay.
did, and they refer to
Yeah.
it to mean only one God, it doesn't matter. They're referring to Allah. Okay, and that's the point.
Yes.
And this
Exactly.
is the same question, and this guy asked about why are then names of Elijah in Arabic in the Quran? Yeah, that's why.
Oh,
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Elijah. No, Eliyahu. It doesn't refer
Yeah.
to Yahweh. It's Eliyah. That's all.
Ah.
The first part of Yah is there, but not Yahweh. You see,
Uh-huh.
these Christians, they're so sneaky. Okay. Yes, in the
Yeah.
Quran, it says that the prophet Elijah's name is Ilyas. Ilyas, not Yahyas. You see, no, there's no Yah in the Arabic. Okay.
Yeah.
And then if you look in the Hebrew,
Hmm.
Eliyahu, it's Yahoo. It's not Yahweh.
Yeah.
Where did the where come from? You see.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it does use part of the Tetragrammaton. Yes, I do admit it's because it's Yahweh, right? It's YHWH, but it only uses the first part. Yeah, YH. It doesn't use the what the wav and the head, which is where the Christians use it as where, right? Translate it as where.
Yeah.
So it's only
Yeah.
Eliyahu, but it's not
Yeah.
Eli Yahweh. You see,
Yeah.
so these Christians, they play with words, they play mind games. So
Yeah.
so their argument is that, oh, you look at the Quran. The Quran says Elias, so it
Yeah.
takes the name from Hebrew, for Elijah or
Yeah.
Eliyahu. So it means that the
Yeah.
Quran is acknowledging that Yahweh is the name of the one true God. Nope, no, it doesn't. Sorry to burst your bubble,
Yeah, and
Christian. It
and
doesn't.
even if you did, let's say for the sake of
Yeah.
it does, even if you did, it wouldn't matter, because as long as the Jews affirm to one God,
Mm.
it doesn't matter. They're still
Yeah.
referring to Allah. Okay? So even if
Yep.
they name some prophet as Yahweh or whatever, it still doesn't
Yeah.
matter because they're referring to the one God. That's it.
Yeah.
And at the
Exactly.
time,
Exactly.
they were Muslims, right? They were followed Moses and followed all the other prophets,
Yes.
so they were Muslim
Yes.
and they affirmed
Yes.
Tawhid. So yeah,
Yes.
it doesn't matter.
In fact, the Quran, I personally believe that Ilyas is actually a Arabized form, which came
Mhm,
from a earlier name of Eliyahu. It's probably not from Eliyahu even, because
mhm,
Hebrew, because the Quran being, if you look at the history of the Quran, the language of the Quran, the
mhm,
Quran goes against the norms of the people. Okay, like for example, the name Isa. Okay, the Jesus alayhi salam.
mhm,
The Jews and the Christians, they refer to him in the Hebrew as Yehoshua, right? Yehoshua, or Yahush. Even in the Arabic, the Arabic Christians, they call him Yasua. Okay,
mhm,
but the Quran doesn't use Yasua or Yehoshua.
mhm,
He uses
mhm,
Isa. Why does he use is Isa? Because the Aramaic name of Jesus is Aisho. You see,
yeah,
so
yeah.
there's an
By the
earlier
way,
form. Yes,
yeah,
so there's an earlier form of the name. Okay, so the
yeah.
Quran takes an earlier form of the name. So I believe that this is also the same thing for Elijah as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. By the way, I think a rich man is a Christian. By the way, rich man, I want to add something else. You will oftentimes notice many atheist, kind of secular historians will say that Yahweh refers to this pagan god. You can simply call them out and say that this is fallacy of equivocation. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
as long as they affirm oneness of God, they're referring to one God.
Yes.
and
Yes.
and that's the point. This is why it's a bad argument, and this is why if we follow like Rob Christian's logic, then you have to say that Christianity is false, right? Which doesn't
Yeah, I have
which
because
doesn't make sense.
I have tons of evidence here which says that
Okay, okay.
Yahweh is
Oh,
a
sorry,
false
sorry,
god.
sorry,
So
brother. Brother Richman is a Muslim. I'm sorry.
I know,
He's a
I know,
Muslim.
I know, I know you're Muslim, brother. Yes, I know. Brother Rishman
Sorry,
comes to my
sorry about that.
channel, so yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I
sure,
know.
sure.
I don't assume that he's a Christian. I know that he's a Muslim. Yeah,
I
I know.
thought with
Yeah,
the yeah. Okay, no problem. Yeah. So,
yeah. And
by the way, so
I
that's the
have this.
point. Yeah. Okay. By the way, can you mention the book about the Yahweh? What is the name of the book?
You talking about this?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's the name of the book? Origins of Yahuism. Yeah, I have to read that.
Oh,
To check it out.
but it's
Interesting book.
200 USD, Aki.
Oh, no problem. I can download like PDF or something.
And
Yeah,
this,
yeah. So,
yeah,
yeah, and that's the point. And so basically, to conclude, this is what like Rob Christian did. So he was having like a debate with a Muslim where he lied. He said that at the time of the Prophet, they worshipped this idol called what is it, Samad, and he
Samad.
was apparently yeah, it was apparently affirmed by Ibn Kathir. Both of those were lies. Ibn Kathir never said that there was like an idol called Samad. We showed a book which lists all the names of the pagan idols, which doesn't mention any Samad, any idol called Samad. Ibn Kathir never said. As a matter of fact, Ibn Kathir said that Samad means eternal. He explained that
Yes,
in detail in his tafsir. So he never
yes,
said that. Then he quotes
yeah,
another verse, 770, where he talks about the people of Ad, and he says that this is talking about before Arabia, before uh, the coming of the Prophet, but it's not. It's talking about the people of Ad, which has nothing to do with
yeah,
the people of like
yeah.
Arabia.
Basically, Samud.
And
Basically,
yeah, and
Samud.
also
Yeah,
Ibn Kathir, the hadith he uses is a weak hadith because it's from Ibn Ishaq. Now, to be fair, Ibn Ishaq is not necessarily fabricated. Okay, for example, there are many scholars have actually praised him for all the information he gathered, but you have to look at if he, when it comes to fiqh, you usually scholars, especially Ahmed ibn Hanbal, he was against like using his hadith because he oftentimes does not cite his sources, and that's but if sometimes he does, and in those cases that he does, you can grade the hadith. But unless so basically the Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, he says that his hadith is Hasan. You cannot use a Hasan hadith to make like a Aqidah related issues or fiqh related issues. You cannot use that unless you have some Sahih hadith that backs it up. So the hadith is
yep,
weak, so you cannot use it. But even if, for the sake of argument, we said that, okay, fair enough, no problem. This is talking about, talking about Samad or Samud, whatever, right? That still doesn't matter because at the end of the day, as long as they're affirming Tawheed, that's it. Like they're talking
yep.
about Allah.
Yes,
So,
that's
yeah.
exactly what it means. Yeah,
Thank you, bro,
And
for
and
showing up.
and also another thing is that Samud doesn't even appear in the Kitab al-Snam. So that's
Yeah,
also
yeah, yeah.
another point.
There's
There's
no
no
idol
Samud.
called Samud in Arabia. I mean, if this was the case that it existed before, long before, then there would be some trace of it,
Yeah,
right? We see no,
yeah,
none of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, brother, anything you wanna add?
Nah, I think I've already shared most of it. It's just that, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
basically, just want to tell the audience that, always make sure to check your sources and make
yeah,
sure, to, if any Christian were to come to you with some funny BS story like what Rob Christian just shared, you make sure
yeah,
that you really check the sources before you believe
yeah,
people like him. Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
yeah. So, brother Richmond said, if you have time, what do you think on the theory that Yahweh means something like the ever living or eternal, and that it is one of Allah's name, Hayul or Hayul Qayyum? I don't know. You have to like cite sources from Islamic sources, unless you can cite them.
Yeah, I
I
know
don't think
some
we
Muslims
can
try
accept
to
them.
associate. Can I add a bit on that?
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah, sure, 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 sure.
basically, yeah, there are some Muslims who actually came up with this in recent time because they want to. I don't know why they desperately so want to connect the
Mm.
Yahweh name to that of our to our tradition. We don't need to
Yeah.
rely on Yahweh to
Mm.
connect because we don't know what it means. First of all, we don't know what it
Mm.
means. Secondly, we don't even know
Mm.
how it's pronounced. The pronunciation has been lost. Thirdly, even Jews today don't even use the name Yahweh. Okay, they don't. They preserve it in the text, yes, but
Mm.
they don't use it anymore in their liturgy or in their spoken,
Mm. Mm. Mm.
in their ibadah, whatever. They don't use it
Yeah,
at
yeah,
all. Only the Christians are so
yeah.
obsessed with it. Only the Christians are
Mm.
obsessed with it. Evangelical
Mm.
Christians are obsessed with this.
Mm.
So we
Yeah.
should not try to connect the Yahweh, whatever it means, to
Mm.
Islam. Whatever that we
Yeah.
don't need to. In fact, we don't need to.
Especially
We
when it
already
comes
have
to like,
we
yeah,
exactly. We already have 99 attributes of God. Why do
yeah,
you need another one?
yeah.
Why do you need another name? We already have
Yeah,
99
I mean,
names.
like,
Okay.
unless like you can show us like some kind of Sahih Hadith or something, I don't
Yeah.
think there's no need to refer to him that
I,
way.
I don't
But
think it's
again, like
important.
if you
Yeah.
have
Basic.
like some kind
Yeah.
of name in your own language, like for example, in our language we
Yeah.
have the word Koda or like, you know, Ishar or
Yeah.
something, then it's okay to use them, because it, as long as it refers to Allah. So yeah, thank you, bro, for joining. I know that
Yeah.
you had like another stream, so sorry
No,
about
I'm
that.
okay. No, it's
Okay,
okay.
thank you,
Yeah.
and thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. And as for Rob Christian, like, bro, stop lying. Okay, stop lying. Like your audience is not stupid. Like the Muslims are not stupid. We can simply look up these references, okay, and we can humiliate you, and we'll continue to humiliate you as long as you keep lying. Okay,
I'm
so
actually
yeah,
amazed that this idiot actually thought that or tries to push the idea that Somat is the name of an idol. I can't really believe this. He's
yeah,
that's
yeah,
idiotic.
and he actually refuted Christianity himself.
Yeah, that's the funniest part of all. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, he refutes
Mm,
Christianity better than he refutes
yeah.
Islam.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's really
so yeah,
dumb.
thank
Yeah.
you guys for watching. Thank you guys for watching. Inshallah, we'll do another stream in the future, maybe. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Inshallah, we'll see you guys next time. Maybe my next video might be about apostate prophet. So look forward to that, inshallah. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you guys like the video, like, share, subscribe, and of course, go subscribe to Badar MENJ's channel. And yeah, inshallah, I'll
Thank
see you
you.
guys next time. Thank you guys for watching. Jazakallah khair. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Walaikum